ओके
लोगों हाँ मतलब बेसिकली बहुत सारे सर्वर थे
हेलो
डिस्कॉर्ड
हेलो
आप
हेलो
जब स्पेसिफिक सर्वर खोलोगे तब उस पर एनिमेशन दिखता है ठीक है तो वो ब्लैक स्क्रीन आपके वहीं पे रुका हुआ है अगर आप उसकी जगह ब्लैक स्क्रीन से बदले लोगों से स्टार्ट
ओके
करो जी आई को तो ज़्यादा बेटर
सो
रहेगा
आई होप
मोस्ट
समथिंग हो गया इधर
अब
प्रॉपर
मुझे देखो ना मुझे
एंड
मैं
हम लोग आज
देखो
बनाने वाले हैं टॉप डाउन शूटर आई हैव सिलेक्टेड टू मेक इनसाइड अनरियल इंजन तो वी विल टेक सम टाइम प्रॉपर साउंड आएगा इधर प्रॉपर माइक का ओके
इसमें तो नहीं देख। अरे तू चेंज भाई ऐसे मत क्या कर रहे ब्रो।
ओके सो
अच्छा मारा ना।
क्या बोल रहा था मैं हाँ टॉप डाउन शूटर हम लोग बनाएंगे वील टेक आर टाइम इसमें वी विल स्टार्ट विद द बेसिक मूवमेंट एंड एवरीथिंग एंड मैं पहले इधर देख लेता हूँ क्या क्या चीज़ें आई एम गोइंग टू यूज़ द पैक्स तो एक तो ये है 100 पैक विच आई एम प्लानिंग टू यूज़ फॉर नाउ ये इसके बाद हम लोग शायद चेंज भी करेंगे ये मे बी अभी फ़िलहाल के लिए दिस इज़ द पैक दैट विल यूज़ फॉर आर एनिमीज़ एंड बेलिका इज़ द वन जिसके एनिमेशंस आई वाज थिंकिंग अच्छे होंगे फॉर अ शूटर इसके स्किन्स ये सब हम लोग यूज़ नहीं करने वाले मैं एनिमेशन ट्राई करूँगा रीटारगेट करने को एंड आई हैव अनदर कैरेक्टर विच आई एम गोइंग टू टेक विच इज़ बेसिकली दिस डिटेक्टिव कैरेक्टर तो ये सब फ़िलहाल मैंने एक प्रोजेक्ट में डाला है एंड हम लोग देखते हैं क्या क्या एसेट्स है क्या क्या अवेलेबल है क्या क्या हम लोग को चेंज करना पड़ेगा एंड ऑल्सो वन मोर आई वॉन्टेड टू ऐड वॉज अ स्टाइलाइज्ड एनवायरनमेंट वो आई थिंक मार्केट प्लेस से मुझे मिलना चाहिए मेरे पास ऑलरेडी था वो इट वॉज वेट लेट मी जस्ट चेक मेरे प्रोजेक्ट में ऑलरेडी होगा सो मैंने ऑलरेडी प्रोजेक्ट बना के रखा है इसके रिगार्डिंग आई जस्ट ओपन दैट लेट मी सी कि सब उसमें मेरे पैक्स इम्पोर्टेड है या नहीं
शेयर किया लिंक
हाँ
ग्रुप में
नहीं डायरेक्ट ये है चैनल पे ही है
अच्छा चैनल पे जाना पड़ेगा मुझे
ओके सो हाँ इसमें वी हैव आवर 100 पैक वी हैव आवर टॉप डाउन का ये टेम्पलेट है जिस पे हम लोग स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं मैंने ये एशियन विलेज है जो मैंने इंपोर्ट किया है ये कैरेक्टर है विच हैव इम्पोर्टेड डिटेक्टिव कैरेक्टर एंड वी हैव द बेलिका जिसके कैरेक्टर के मैशेस भी है एंड एनिमेशंस है ये वाले ओके तो वील स्टार्ट विद द बेसिक मूवमेंट आई थिंक मैं मैनिकिन से ही स्टार्ट करूँगा एंड देन वी विल हम लोग का गोल इज़ टू यूज़ दिस कैरेक्टर दिस वन बट विथ हेयर इसका ये UE4 वाला इसका स्केलेटन है सो दिस इज़ द वन दैट वी विल यूज़ सो इसमें अभी हम लोग वील स्टार्ट विद द टेम्पलेट के मैकेनिक्स अभी टेम्पलेट के अंदर हम लोग के पास क्या क्या था जो टॉप डाउन है ब्लूप्रिंट्स इसके अंदर कुछ नहीं है जो भी मूवमेंट एंड एवरीथिंग है इट वाज डन इनसाइड दिस कंट्रोलर सो दे हैव यूज्ड एनहांस्ड इनपुट इन दिस एंड they are basically doing the follow and move to kind of things this is a different टाइप ऑफ मूवमेंट मैं ऐसे का नहीं क्रिएट करने वाला हूँ टॉप डाउन जो इनका है इनका इट इज़ मोर लाइक अ मोबा काइंड ऑफ मूवमेंट जो डोटा एंड लीग ऑफ लेजेंड्स वो सब में यूज़ होता है आई थिंक टॉप डाउन मैप इसमें मैं अच्छा यही वाला है इसमें आई हैव क्रिएटेड माई ओन गेम मोड जस्ट फॉर टेस्टिंग पर्पज बट इफ़ आई चेक द top down game mode with the top down character and if I add a player start here इनका कौन सा कैरेक्टर है इसमें? हाँ, ये वाला है. So this is basically the template. Okay. I am not going to make this kind of movement. ये point and click है. So point to move है. We will make more like it will follow the rotation of our mouse. जहाँ पर mouse है वो rotate करेगा. And we will control our character using WSD. I think वो ज़्यादा comfortable है for a top down game because PC wise वो better है. मोबाइल के लिए कंट्रोल्स थोड़े ऐसे बनाने पड़ते हैं या एक अलग से एनालॉग देना पड़ेगा. बट या वील मेक आवर ओन मूवमेंट सिस्टम. ओके. सो ब्लूप्रिंट्स में ये थोड़े से ऑलरेडी मेरे ब्लूप्रिंट्स थे इसके अंदर. वी विल नॉट टच दिस. वी विल क्रिएट अ न्यू कंटेंट फोल्डर एंड एवरीथिंग. सो दिस इज़ वन कैरेक्टर दैट वील यूज़ फॉर स्टार्टिंग पर्पज. ये वाला आइडल एनिमेशन पे फ़िलहाल करते हैं. इसमें सपोज आई क्रिएट माई कंटेंट. ओके. I'll add blueprints and I will make a character. मैं pawn भी बना सकता हूँ but I think I'll use a character movement for now for movement and I'll name it BP top down character. Okay, or I'll just name it. I'll name it my BP shooter. ठीक है. फ़िलहाल इसका कुछ नाम नहीं है मेरे पास और आई जस्ट गिव इट अ नेम. देन स्केलेटल मेश में एज यू कैन सी वी हैव दिस इज़ द पैरागन की कैरेक्टर है ये. इसका हम लोग एनिमेशंस एंड एवरीथिंग यूज़ कर सकते हैं. डायरेक्टली आई कैन यूज़ दिस. आई मे यूज़ दिस अगर गेम के हिसाब से कौन सा ज़्यादा फिटिंग लगता है. लाइक कैरेक्टर्स फ़िलहाल चेंज हो सकते हैं. पहले तो हम लोग मेन कोर मैकेनिक्स बना रहे हैं. सो आई कैन ऑल्सो यूज़ दिस वन डिटेक्टिव. ओके. इसमें मुझे क्लोथ्स इसके या जैकेट वाला एक अलग से मैश है विच आई हैव टू ऐड. लेट मी जस्ट चेक. यहाँ पर कैरेक्टर मैशेस and this is the main detective mesh and we have this one detective clothes. Now this already has I think the same jeans जो इसमें है तो इसका पॉइंट नहीं है. सेम जीन्स दो बार उस पर अप्लाई होने वाला है. एक्चुअली सिर्फ डिफरेंस सिर्फ जैकेट में आई थिंक. सो वील यूज़ दिस वन बिकॉज इसमें सिर्फ जैकेट अलग से है. तो हम लोग ऑलरेडी हम लोग के पास ये वाला है जिस पे सब बॉडी एंड एवरीथिंग है एंड वील जस्ट यूज़ अ डिफरेंट जैकेट एंड उसके ऊपर हेड तो ऑलरेडी है. ठीक है. सो इनसाइड आवर शूटर I will add another skeletal mesh and इसको मुझे लोकेशन रोटेशन देने का मतलब नहीं है because I have made it the child of this mesh but this is basically my jacket. एंड यहाँ पर मैं सिलेक्ट कर सकता हूँ मेरा जैकेट. बट व्हेन आई एनिमेट दिस इसमें प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगी. आई विल हैव टू गिव बोथ ऑफ देम द सेम एनिमेशन ब्लूप्रिंट और आई विल हैव टू यूज़ अ मास्टर पोस्ट कंपोनेंट विच इज़ नाउ कॉल्ड अ लीडर पोस्ट कंपोनेंट. तो वो हम लोग देखेंगे आगे. फ़िलहाल लेट्स जस्ट सी इफ दिस हैज़ एनी एनिमेशंस. तो ये वाले मैंने इसमें इंपोर्ट किए थे. मैंने बेसिकली रीटारगेट किए जो एनिमेशन दीज आर फ्रॉम द बेलिका. बट इसमें एक इशू है विच इज़ बेसिकली दिस. सो आई विल शो यू हाउ दैट्स हैपनिंग. सो इफ आई गो टू बेलिका and if I go to any of these animations, like let's say idle, or I'll go with a jog. I think jog better होगा, थोड़ा movement है उसमें. So I have jog forward, this one. Okay, if I just simulate it, you can see this is the animation. What I can do, I can retarget it. I can just replace, not even retarget. ये सबसे easiest method है to change skeletons. You can just replace if both of the skeletons are of the same type. अभी इसका skeleton मैं देखता हूँ. इसका skeleton is like this, basically like a UE4 skeleton. Yeah, this is a UE4 skeleton. And if I go to my detective character, now this has both. This has a UE4 skeleton, which is this, and it also has a UE5 skeleton, which is this one. So this one has, you can see, 5 spines unlike 3. So what I can do, I can directly replace the skeleton because I have the same skeleton UE4. I can just replace the animation. तो मैं क्या करता हूँ, मैं एनिमेशन को कॉपी करता हूँ मेरे कंटेंट के अंदर. आई विल ऐड अ एनिमेशंस फोल्डर. ओके, एंड मैं यहाँ पर अलग से एक कंटेंट ब्राउज़र यूज़ करता हूँ. आई विल गो टू बेलिका, jog forward, and I will copy this one to my animations folder. I will copy maybe one more. और कौन सा इसके अंदर अच्छा, we have fire, primary fire, level start. We have कैसा है level start? कि ये लेते हैं. So ये हो गया, कॉपी हो गया दोनों के. Now what I can just do is I can replace the skeleton. Right click, replace, and I can do my detective. This is the UE4 one, this is UE5 one. I'll do the UE4 one. नाउ एनिमेशन में कोई इशू नहीं है. इफ़ यू थिंक कि उसका शोल्डर थोड़ा सा स्लाइटली नीचे बेंट है, बट इट्स नॉट. द ओनली इशू इज़ द पिवट. ओके, दिस इज़, आई डोंट नो व्हाई दिस इज़ हैपनिंग. माई थियोरी इज़ बिकॉज इसका जो पिवट टू रूट का डिस्टेंस है इज़ डिफरेंट फ्रॉम इसके पेल्विस टू रूट का डिस्टेंस बिकॉज ऑफ द हाइट. आई थिंक बेलिका का हाइट ज़्यादा है डिटेक्टिव से, तो आई थिंक वो एक रीज़न है. एंड व्हेन यू रिप्लेस स्केलेटन यू डोंट हैव एनी सेटिंग्स लाइक जिसमें हम लोग इसका स्केल थोड़ा नीचे कर सके या हम लोग पिवट नीचे कर सके. आई हैव नो सेटिंग्स लाइक दैट. आई डोंट थिंक सो. I have input translation. If I do like -50 on Z, I'll probably have to re-import it, but I don't know if re-importing works here. There is no button for re-importing. No, it will ask me for my animation ka source, which I don't think I have. if I check in characters, Bellica, नहीं Bellica नहीं, I'll take my detective one. इसमें वो दिखाएगा नहीं, यू assets it will not take. There's no point then, because if we are importing the animation from Epic तो हम लोग को तो यू asset ही मिल रहा है, मुझे वो अलग से एक्सपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा and then I'll have to re-import it and मुझे ट्रांसलेशन उसका जो भी कम करना पड़ेगा. There's no point. ठीक है, सो हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं इसमें, वी कैन ईदर यूज़ दीज एनिमेशंस एंड मैं सिर्फ उसका पिवट यहाँ पर नीचे कर दूँ. फॉर एग्जांपल इनसाइड मेश आई कैन डू यूज़ एनिमेशन एसेट, जॉब फॉरवर्ड. देयर आर लॉट ऑफ एनिमेशंस एक्चुअली रीटारगेटेड टू दिस, तो मैं वो डिलीट कर देता हूँ पहले. It's still deleting properly. Oh, I delete. Okay, अभी इसमें एनिमेशंस तो नहीं होने चाहिए कोई. Let me check here. Yeah, it doesn't have much animations. ये वाला हम लोग यूज़ कर सकते हैं. So now for the animation, both of these animations to work properly, मुझे जैकेट में जैसा मैंने बोला अलग से I'll have to give the animation asset, और I can go to construction script. I can just do set leader pose component, which used to be master pose before. अब ये लोग ने नाम change किया है. तो you can just tell this mesh to be your leader pose. Then all of the child meshes or this mesh जो भी मैं इसमें target में देता हूँ, they will follow the same animation which the parent is doing. Okay. Now if I check, is this a blueprint? It's not. Now again we have the same issue, key pivot. So I can technically change the location down to something like this. थोड़ा ज़्यादा नीचे हो गया था. Yeah, this is fine. So I think I can do this, but shoulders में थोड़े से issue है. But let's see if it will affect us. For now हम लोग ये use करेंगे. Okay. This is a shooter character. Now how do we move it and everything? So we'll have to create a controller for that. and for now I will retarget all my animations Bellica से इसमें I think करके ही रखता हूँ better है अभी. मैंने सबको मूव कर दिया. वो अभी अनमूव भी नहीं होंगे. मुझे फिर से जाके उनको करना पड़ेगा. Except this one. I will move them all there again. Intro start. This time I will copy. Okay, सबको मैं सिलेक्ट करके देखता हूँ. If I can just replace the skeleton for now to SK detective. These are all the animations. ठीक है. Now the reason I did this because I wanted to make a very simple animation blueprint. For now I'll add the sequences to this and I'll create another. मैं इधर डायरेक्टली बना देता हूँ. I'll just create an animation blueprint from detective ABP this is my top down. We have an event graph and anim graph. I thought anim graph है ही नहीं इसमें. Anyway, I'll play the idle one here. ठीक है. And इसको हम लोग ले लेंगे ABP क्या नाम दिया था 2D. इसके आर्म्स का आई थिंक कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. I may have to retarget the animations. ठीक है, हम लोग अपना कंट्रोलर बनाते हैं. I'll create a player controller. Just name it player controller for now. And what I need is another game mode, not a new level, but a game mode inside my blueprints. GM top down. Okay. Our default character, I will not give it a default, I will just make it possess this one. Really. And I'll create a cam inside. No, I'll create a separate camera actor, or maybe I'll need a spring arm. If I need a spring arm, I should not take a camera actor, I should take a default actor and I'll add the camera and spring arm components, because camera actor में by default you cannot add a parent to the camera component, you will have to take another class for that. So मैं top down cam इसका नाम रखता हूँ. Okay. इसमें we will add a spring arm and we will add a camera. Okay, that's fine for now. Now inside our, wait, where's my PC? I have two PC. Nice. तुम लोग के पास कितने PC है? मेरे पास दो है. I should probably delete वो बाकी के blueprint classes. Almost सबका नाम same है, but I will soon. So ये player controller में I will define my logic कि it should first, my player should follow my mouse whenever, जैसे यहाँ पर अभी तो मेरा कैमरा भी सेटअप नहीं है, so you can see the inside of a mouth. यहाँ पर इसके दांत दिख रहे थे मस्त. That's my game mode. Inside my game mode I will tell it to, I can do it inside my player controller. Yeah, it is better done here. And I will do set view target with blend. So I need a camera. There's my camera. I will do get actor. Because it's a game mode, I cannot give it a public reference, so I'll have to do a get actor of class. Get actor of class mein I can search for my top down cam. Hopefully there is only one. There is only one. Okay, let me see if my top down cam, it is not being spawned in. Should I spawn in or should I place it in? मैं उसको प्लेस करके इसका लोकेशन चेंज कर सकता हूँ या मैं उसको मैनुअली स्पॉन कर सकता हूँ. फॉर नाउ लेट्स जस्ट प्लेस इट इन लाइक दिस. डजेंट मैटर उसको कहाँ प्लेस कर रहा हूँ. बिगिन प्ले पे आई विल ट्राई टू गेट इट. आई विल सेट द व्यू टारगेट. बिफोर आई सेट इट आई कैन चेंज द लोकेशन. आफ्टर आई सेट इट आई कैन चेंज द लोकेशन. टेक्निकली सेम फ्रेम पे होने वाले तो इट विल नॉट रियली मैटर. I will promote it to a reference, my cam. And to my cam I will do set actor location to my player. Player character. Get actor location. my top down cam? Okay, I haven't placed it. I did place it. Here is my top down cam. The location is proper. Wait, I can't see the cam in this. I should be able to see the camera, but I think जब game चालू होता है तो ये चीज़ you can't see. So this is what's happening here. हम लोग का कैमरा like basically हम लोग के बॉडी के अंदर जा रहा है because it is blocking it. So what I need to do is I need to tell my mesh, my capsule, my everything inside this blueprint and all of these things to please stop blocking my camera politely. Collision preset, tell them please ignore my camera, do not block it. My mesh, please stop acting like a mesh. No collision, I don't need you. And yes, our camera is done. Okay, now for the movement, I can move it here, I can move it in the player controller, दोनों भी ठीक है. What should I do? I will add some simple input actions, axis. I'll add axis. Move forward and move right. Done. Easy. Move right. Okay, now it depends how we want to move it. कि जब मैं forward दबाऊँ, if I press W, should it move to its own forward or should it move to where our camera is facing? Because our camera will most likely stay still. Our camera will not move. Our camera will only move like this. It will not rotate, so it will not change its forward vector. Only our character will change its own forward vector. Okay, so let me just do add movement input for now, and I will move it on constant x-axis. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that is proper. So our camera will not rotate in a game, तो हम लोग का हमेशा ऊपर और नीचे like same होने वाला है WNS. So you can use the same and do it on Y. MG3 model, yes, MJ का 3D model है. This is why this game will be too OP, because I'll give MG a gun. Okay, ये हम लोग का हो गया movement. Not really, but at least WSD movement हो गया. Now the main thing is for it to follow our mouse. Now for the player to follow the mouse, our mouse should be visible. हम लोग का mouse ही नहीं दिख रहा है. तो player controller में जाके I can just go to class defaults. I can do show mouse cursor, set it to true by default, and now at least we can see the mouse. Now MJ को बोलना है mouse को follow करे. So how do I do that? I can probably get mouse cursor location, get location under cursor, something like that. Get under cursor, get hit result under cursor. I can do hit result. I can also do mouse result. Under finger, but I'm not using a finger, so we'll do this. Now this is the thing that we have to do this every frame technically because of how smooth we want the game to be. अगर हम लोग का 90 frames पे चल रहा है तो I think टिक पे अगर मैं नहीं करूँ 0.2 seconds में एवरी मैं उसको फॉलो करवाऊँ मेरे कर्सर को उसका रोटेशन, सो आई डोंट थिंक प्रॉपर होगा. इट विल लैग अ लॉट बिकॉज 90 frames per second is like, how much is it? 1 divided by, I don't even know, 0.11. I will not target for 0.11. I will target for 0.166. तो 0.166 seconds का मैं एक टाइमर रन कर सकता हूँ. इफ़ आई हैड टू आई कैन डू सेट टाइमर बाय event every 1.0166 is my tick. This is my tick. I can increase this if I wanted to optimize. I can do this 0.02, which is like 30 frames per second, I think. So every 30 frames, every second frame basically, if I'm running the game on 60 frames per second, every second frame मेरा ये अपडेट होगा. बट ठीक है, उतना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड फ़िलहाल मुझे नहीं करना. आई विल जस्ट ब्रेक दिस. आई कैन टेक द लोकेशन, ओके, एंड आई कैन टेक द रोटेशन ऑफ माई पर्टिकुलर प्लेयर एंड आई कैन रोटेट इट टूवर्ड्स दिस लोकेशन जहाँ पर मेरा माउस है. सो फर्स्ट लेट्स सी वेयर आवर माउस इज़. How do we see that? I can draw a debug box if I want to. I think I should be able to. Draw box एक option है, draw debug box option है. Let me see if draw box is actually like, okay, it's for painting. I don't want to paint. I'm not using Unreal Engine to paint. यहाँ पर I will draw a debug box जहाँ पर मेरा mouse है. Extent will be, I don't know, 111. Color, कौन से कलर का? आई विल ड्रॉ debugs usually in green. No rotation. I will give it a duration of 0.1 seconds and a thickness of 1. And let's see. Yes, green कलर का हम लोग को दिख रहा है. So if you can't see it properly, I think stream पे दिखना चाहिए. दिख रहा है वैसे तो, but I can increase the thickness, or I can just increase the extent. Now you can see. Now we need MJ to look where this green square is. Okay, so how do I do that? पहले तो I have my get controlled on. This is MJ. MJ का मुझे क्या चाहिए? रोटेशन. And I also need the location, or I can just get a transform and I can split them. लोकेशन रोटेशन हम लोग को मिल गया. अब हम लोग को क्या करना है? इस लोकेशन से where she is standing right now to the location of my mouse, I want a particular rotation इस एंगल पर. So from this location to this location basically, so I can do a find look at from my player's location to my mouse location, and that is the rotation I have. Now at this rotation I can directly tell her to rotate, या मैं थोड़ा सा debugging करके I can draw a line trace by channel. But line trace by channel में you can't give it a rotation, you only have to give it a location start and end. So end location can be basically ये मेरा direction हो गया, and उस direction से मैं end location ले सकता हूँ. और for now I can just set actor rotation and set it this rotation. So get करने का point नहीं था, but let's see. ओ शी इज रोटेटिंग, बट उसके पैर को क्या हो रहा है? वेट, व्हाई आर यू सो वियर्ड? मैं यहाँ पॉज भी नहीं कर सकता। इसके पैर को क्या हो रहा है? ओके हाँ, वाई पे रोटेट कर रही है ना। वो तो ऑब्वियस, आई ओनली वांटेड टू रोटेट ऑन द यॉ, बट आई एम जस्ट सीइंग वाई पे उतना भी रोटेट नहीं हो रही है। हाँ अभी हो रही है। सो इफ यू वांट टू मेक अ फिजिट स्पिनर गेम, यू नो हाउ टू। ओ किधर जा रही है वो पता नहीं यार। Yes, good gameplay. Okay, so what we need to do is only rotate it on the yaw. Roll and pitch, I'll keep it as it is. And अगर मैं उसको मूव करूँ तो it is always looking where the mouse is. Okay. So हम लोग का बेसिक मूवमेंट तो हो गया है. I can also just set my cam to follow my player, but I'm thinking where should I do it? I can make it follow here, or I can just control it via my game board, so that if I ever want to make it not follow, I can handle it from here. So for now, जैसा मैंने ये चीज़ begin play पे किया है, I can just make it happen every frame, and I can add a lag, camera lag here inside my spring arm. But okay, let's do it. I mean there is a lag, but ज़्यादा नहीं है. I can add more lag inside my cam. I can lower the lag to 5, directly double it. I think ये ठीक है. Now पहले तो मैं कैमरा थोड़ा सा ऊपर ले लेता हूँ स्प्रिंग आर्म. And also I need a slight offset. Currently like I am looking at a hair directly, तो मुझे उतना नहीं देखना है. If I want to like take a look at the model एक एंगल से basically पूरा गेम, so I can do it via my spring arm only. Spring arm के अंदर ही there is a socket offset which I can add it, or there is also target offset. Let me add a socket offset and we'll see क्या हम लोग को गेम प्ले में कैसा चेंजेस हम लोग को दिख रहा है. So we can add it on the Y, suppose like this, and X में करेंगे तो that will just make it go closer to the player. I'll not do that. And Z पे I can give it थोड़ा सा left में. तो ये कैमरा अब थोड़ा सा राइट में जा रहा है. I don't want that. -178. हाँ अभी थोड़ा सा लेफ्ट में है. And I'll need to rotate it. Nothing really else I can do. This is not the kind of rotation you would want. Let me give it a this is -90. And spring arm का why is it going more that side? 0 करके दिस इज़ फाइन, बट मुझे सिर्फ ऐसा थोड़ा सा नीचे चाहिए कैमरा. Like for example, if I just take my camera here, you can see यहाँ पर कैसा है. I can go to my spring arm, I can add a rotation. So ऐसे type का rotation I don't want. So it's -90. So -80, yeah, -75. Yeah, this is more like what I would feel like a top-down game should have. -70, let's say. This is much better, and let's bring it back to center. हाँ, ये better है. The only downside of these kind of cameras is that मुझे top right में ज़्यादा view है basically, because मेरा camera थोड़ा सा rotated है नीचे. So I have more view towards here than I have towards this area. But that's fine. Players usually अपने आप को adapt कर लेते. If they know कि camera एक particular advantage उनको देता है, तो they tend to either take that advantage or minimize any other disadvantage that it gives them. So this is fine. Like still you can see the player is completely in the center. So if I had to change that, मैं थोड़ा सा और offset दे सकता हूँ, but I don't think for now this is fine. Okay. Now what? Now we need her to actually walk. Abhi currently she is just sliding. So how do we make her walk? We need a blend space. So I have jog forward. Do I have walk? I don't have walk. Really? I don't have walk? Pelika does not walk. She only jogs. बस जॉग करती है और कुछ नहीं करती लिटरली. Crouch. She does not crouch. She does not slide. She can jump, of course. She can fire. I don't know how she can sprint or run or walk. चलेगा. I'll create a blend space, animation blend space, SK detective, blind space please. Okay, thank you. I will call it PS. Why am I calling her detective? She is my MJ movement. तो इसका नाम नहीं दे देता है BP MJ. नाउ मैरी जेन क्या क्या करती है, जॉब करती है. Okay, and we have to add an idle. What is the issue? So let's add two axes. We have direction and we have speed. Speed, how far should MJ walk or run? 300. Direction wise I'll give it minus 180 to 180. Okay, I will snap them to grid. Idle. Bro, where's she go? Okay, this idle. Okay, let's just take jog then. Okay, she can jog next. She refuses to go idle. Okay, she can go hero select idle. इसमें एक और एनिमेशन था आई थिंक व्हाट वाज इट. हाँ, आइडल रिलैक्स्ड. यस, because MJ should always be relaxed like this. Relaxed. Okay, now we have jog. We need a jog right. -90 degrees, jog left at -90 degrees. We have jog backward, add 180s. This will give me some issues having jog backwards both here, but let's see. इसमें I will add some smoothing time. Who doesn't love smoothing? What else? Nothing else. And we add it to her state machine. I don't know if we need a state machine, but हम लोग स्टेट मशीन के अंदर ही रखेंगे अपना ब्लेंड स्पेस. क्या नाम है? मूवमेंट. we have a direction and a speed. Movement. So now we need to calculate our direction and speed. I won't do it on a thread safe function. I can technically create a function and wait, how did you? Yeah, I can make it thread safe, but I won't do that because I don't think it is worth for this project. I'll just do it in my normal update animation. इसके अंदर I will take, I can do calculate direction from my rotation and location, not location, my velocity. And what is my speed? My speed is only on the XY plane, of course. Length XY. And yes, she is animated. Backwards में थोड़े issues है जो मैंने बोला था आएगा. But now let's see if we jog forward, what is the issue. Speed is higher than the animation speed, her movement speed basically. So that is of course because our character movement walk speed is set to 600. We will set it to 400, and now it is much better. Okay, let me just try and see if I remove this jog backwards. No, then इसको right में problem होगा. Okay, for now I'll take this, but I don't know why it still says, इसके लिए it says 0. I know it is 0 to 300 for speed, but यहाँ पर it should say 180 minus 180. So basically we needed to blend between these and these animations, from jog backward to jog left when she's going. So this is not an issue. Wait, ये थोड़ा सा she's bugging. क्या हो रहा है इसको? What? Let me just take a very simple hero select idol. I think we're better with it. Or she do be bugging a bit. What? I don't know why it's playing in twice the speed. Why? Like animation is fine, but what? It's playing in twice the speed यहाँ पर. Rate scale is 0.1. I don't know the reason for this. This is the first time मैं ऐसा देख रहा हूँ कि she's playing idle in 2x the speed. No clue. Anyway, now my engine needs a gun. Okay, that was the main issue. क्या करें? I can give her a gun, but animations का थोड़ा सा issue हो सकता है. So let me just add a skeletal mesh. I'll call it a gun, and I will search for, let me just see, shotgun. I just give her an AR. Where is the AR? And parent socket, I will give it the hand socket जो already इसमें है. And I think the gun is too huge for you, MJ. 0.8. Okay. तो ये अगर फॉलो करेगी इसका जो मैश है, स्केलेटल मैश, विच इज़ दिस वन. हाँ, इसमें आई हैव क्रिएटेड दिस hand arc socket. Hand arc socket is following the location of my animations and everything, and this basically follows this hand arc. Okay, so hand arc socket जो है I have rotated them and everything. So let me see अगर, yeah, it's looking nice. I think not bad. थोड़ा और छोटा I think हो सकता है, but I think MG के लिए ठीक है. When we give it fire and everything, we'll see. So it's not proper. And जो वो glitching हो रहा है उसके legs का, which is like this, backwards में होएगा. When you go from backwards left to backwards right animations, so there will be some glitches. It's basically going from this animation to this, तो वो थोड़ा सा ग्लिच होके जा रही है. So I'll just add firing for now, and then we also need to add enemies, we need to add our environment, we need to add something else, I don't know, and waves and stuff जो normal top down shooters में होता है. And उसके अंदर if we get some ideas तो we'll try to implement that. तो let me know अगर किसको कोई ideas है इसके लिए. For now I'll just go here and add a shooting mechanic. Custom event. So shooting में we can add a line trace, we can do it by channel. Okay, line tracing में I will start it at my guns socket. So gun के अंदर I will create a socket here. Root में add socket, root socket. This can be my muzzle socket. Yeah. Can I not set the location and rotation from here? Which bone has the best rotation? I don't think any bone has the best rotation. So this is my muzzle. I will actually avoid using the rotation. Okay, I'll just name it muzzle. So यहाँ पर we can do start from muzzle and we will end at where our character is looking. We can either do that where a character is looking or where the gun is pointing, because that can be two different directions based on how far my gun is from the center. तो ये थोड़ा सा इधर है फार. हाँ पता है मैं डाला. तो इसमें मुझे गन के थ्रू ऐसा लेके जाना है क्या, लेट्स सी. तो व्हाट आई कैन डू फॉर द एंड लोकेशन इज आई कैन डू माई गेट एक्टर लोकेशन विच इज़ माई लोकेशन. आई कैन डू गेट एक्टर फॉरवर्ड वेक्टर. I can multiply it with 500 or something, I think. ठीक है इतना. इनको I will add. And I will draw this every time I shoot. Now when will I shoot? For now I'll keep it on my left mouse button, or I'll just create a input action for shoot. Shoot on left mouse button. So I will tell MJ to shoot. Now whenever I press shoot, this should auto fire basically. I don't want to create a single fire gun. So if this has to auto fire, I need to set a timer by event, which is this, and I need to call it based on my fire rate. So I can promote it to a variable called fire rate. Now I can take this fire rate from my weapon. If I create a weapon blueprint, I will have different kind of weapons in my game जिनके अलग अलग अपने properties होंगे. अपने खुद के अलग meshes होंगे. They can have their different like animations, particle system, their fire rate and stuff like that, their damage values and stuff. So I can create a different bullet or my different damage things for that, or I can just for now create all of this inside my blueprint mj, and if I do extend I will see. तो इसको फ़िलहाल मैं प्रमोट करके रखता हूँ. टाइमर हैंडल विल बी माय शूटिंग timer. Okay, and when I release I want to clear and invalidate this timer. Okay, and I will tell it to loop and draw debug type for some duration, let's say 0.5 in red. So now let's see, if I am left clicking it should start this, but it will start after this time, so I have to give it like 0.1. So if it does this after 0.1 seconds but उसके पहले ही अगर वो clear हो गया तो I don't know. Yeah, that is what's happening. अगर मैं fast click करूँ तो ये नहीं हो रहा है, तो what I need to do is I need to call the event shooting and then I set the timer so that it does this on this particular delay. So it has an initial start delay which is basically this, the time. And now as long as I am holding left mouse button I can shoot like this, and that is the my fire rate. एक बार लेफ्ट क्लिक प्रेस करो तो ऐसे जाएगा. So I don't think I should keep it on my muzzle location. I think it is better done on like a constant location यहाँ पर, because currently she is on a very relaxed state. So under our capsule I will create a scene component, and this is our shoot location. And हम लोग instead of doing this I will do get world location. Okay, and let's see. Now it's better because अब वो गन के मजल से नहीं जा रहा है. गन का मजल कैसे भी हो, it is always from the same position. Okay, like this. So we can add bullets to this. Bullets के लिए तो of course I will have to create another script. Of type actor, call it bullet. Okay, इसके अंदर I can add a projectile movement. I can do just move by offset or something. तो देखते हैं कैसा हम लोगों को करना है. हम लोग पहले प्रोजेक्टाइल मूवमेंट से वी कैन ट्राई. Yeah, I am planning to make this as a full game. Okay, so let's see कितना टाइम हम लोग को लगता है. So हम लोग projectile movement में I'll start with, suppose I'll give it 500 velocity and I will give it a sphere. Where is my sphere? We can take a sphere, we can shape it basically. Okay, so I can like scale it on my x-axis. And इसके अंदर that is my, I'll do like 0.1, 0.01, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. For now I'll just spawn this and we'll see जैसा हम लोग को दिख रहा है. So I'll spawn actor from class. I can spawn a bullet and you need to give it a location and a rotation. So location will be, now it can be our muzzle or it can be just our start location, same thing. And rotation के लिए, rotation has to be correct because projectile movement component में it will move to its forward axis. So to move to its forward axis you want the forward to be proper, like to basically face. So you give it the rotation of, you can find the look at rotation or you can just do like normal get actor rotation. Do you stream to finish the game or like what is your question? I will stream, yes. I will stream the whole process of completing the game. That is the plan, that I'll make a top down shooter. We will do multiple sessions, not just one. So we will continue this game further on, जितने भी हम लोग के streams होते रहेंगे, and you can just catch up on all the streams that have been done because they will be posted after the live is done. So if you've missed something you can go on and you can check the whole process. If you are confused कि ये part कैसे हुआ था, वो part कैसे हुआ था, so you can just see the whole process. So for the rotation I can do a get find look at rotation or I can just do 0 0 and let me see 0 0 पे कैसा हम लोग को आ रहा है. So you can see what is happening. The bullets always go in that direction. So I want to make it so that it always faces where my muzzle is. I can do it to my muzzle location or I can do it to my actor location. Is it a zombie game? Yes, I am planning to add zombies to it. Basically my enemies would be like kind of zombies, but the main goal is to make a top down shooter so that enemies can come in waves and try to attack a player and a player survives by just shooting around and moving around the obstacles and stuff if we try to add some obstacles. So bullet के अंदर I will go to my rotation and I will take my actor rotation and let me do that actor rotation इसको देखें. And now bullets are going where my character is facing, but they are obviously going down because उसमें gravity applied है, so we don't want the bullets to have any kind of gravity. So let's zero that and इसमें we can see कि bullets are traveling through a line trace. Now you can see sometimes there's a green line, that means कि our bullets are overlapping with each other, so that is probably like multiple bullets trying to hit each other. तो for now मैं collisions ये सब बंद ही रखूँगा इनका, and bullet का speed I will increase a little bit. And coming on to their collision में I can keep it to overlap all for now, or just no collision. If I do need collisions, I'll add another collider component rather than using my mesh for the collision, because mesh का collision can be थोड़ा सा complicated. If you want to see, we can check collision, we can check the simple collision. So it is actually not that complicated, so I can use this one. If I did the complex one, तो ये complex collision है इसका, so we will obviously use the simple one. So we can use this simple collision, or I can just add a sphere collider on top of it, so that will make it better. But for now, suppose we have this and we want to give it a shape. So on my x-axis I won't actually change it, I will change it on my y-axis. So undo or no, okay. 0.02, 0.05, something like that. Let me just disable the line trace. That's how bullets are going. You can see it's not like going from our muzzle. So we should keep it थोड़ा सा right में our location, because when we actually hold the gun, so it will be like somewhere like here. And let's see if we have an animation for idle. I have this one. I just want an animation where she is like standing and she has a gun actually aimed ahead. Like that can be done in aim offsets or something, but I'm just checking if I have an animation like that, or I can just play this animation. This is the looping one. Nice. And थोड़ा सा it should be आगे. So the idle animation is something which we will fix, but for now this is fine. Okay, and let me see why it's giving me this texture streaming error. So I'll just do streaming pool size. I'll increase it up to 8 GB. Now it should not give me the texture streaming pool size error anymore. Okay. So speed can still be, it can be more quicker, but abhi ke liye we'll manage with this. And when we actually try to shoot and stuff, so we'll see ki how we can make this mechanics better. फिलहाल के लिए this much is fine. Okay, and I'll give the bullet a very simple material so that it's not completely white. So inside here I'll make materials, bullet, and I'll add a like cyan color or something. Okay, now if I want it to be glowing, I can make this emissive. Should I make it emissive? Let's see कैसा दिखता है emissive के साथ. It doesn't look to really emit much. It's not emitting anything for now. So I'll increase the emissive value. I'll create a parameterized material instance of this, which will basically multiply this with a constant value. This is my emissiveness, emissive intensity, or I can call it my glow intensity. Okay, by default I will give it a value of 2, and I will create a material instance, and I will give it this material instance, and let's see. It's not really glowing that much. Thoda sa, let me just dim things down. It is glowing, but it's not too much. I can increase the value. Now it's better. And if they still look a bit round, तो मैं इसको और I can decrease to 0.025, like these. And I can increase like my X scale to 0.2. So this is like your blaster bullets from Star Wars. उसके अंदर के जो bullets होते हैं, they look something like this. If I want to control थोड़ा सा fire rate, or I will go to my shooting. And in my fire rate I'll make it like 0.2. Okay. And we can go back to our light. Okay, Now let me place my MJ in this Asian village that I have, which is a demo map. There's an overview map, there's a demo map. Let me open the demo map and we'll see if we can place her in there and how she looks there. I know it's like it's a low poly kind of, it's a stylized map, and this my MJ or my detective character is more like towards a realistic vibe, but let's see how they feel together. If not, I can always change it in my further episodes or something. So let me know how you feel ki my game is looking. If you have any opinions on how I'm making this game, or how something looks, or how something feels, or how what if you think I should add something in the game or I should not add, so you can always uh, just chat and give your opinions out. Till that time, we'll wait for the village to load. Yeah, it's compiling the shaders and stuff. So yeah, this is the village. Yeah, I mean it's named village. You can just use it for a environment purpose. And one cool thing that I found is the assets that they have used here. They have not just placed their modeled assets, but also इसके अंदर they have created these generated spline generated meshes, which can basically extend, and you can shape them however you want them. Like for example, like this, and I can do like I can copy this spline point and I can create more fences. So you know the procedural generated content is like good here, even used for these bridges here. They have like this. You know, like you can easily like make a bridge like this. So you can play around with these things, but they have created a good base for like a procedurally generated level, which we can also use in our game. So यहाँ पर let's place or for now I'll just copy this map. This is the map, so I'll create my levels here and I'll copy this inside my levels. So I made a copy, and this can be my L stylized text. And एक बार shaders everything is done, now our level is ready. We can place our blueprints here, our MJ. We can place our cam inside. Now this is the reason why I wanted to spawn the cam, because every level I make I'll have to place the cam inside. I'll have to remember key, there's a cam. And I can go to my game mode, and yeah. My bad. So we added our game mode and stuff, and now I think I should be able to. Oh, I need to tell her to auto possess. Possess MJ. And is there a player start? I don't need a player start, thank you very much. And yes, so this is how our MJ looks in this level. I don't think it's bad. I think she fits. Now we can even see the bullets glowing a bit. So there's a lot of stuff in this that needs to be rebuilt. We can see when I play, there is 4,500 almost unbuilt objects, and there's also reflection captures. So I can do build lighting only, but it will take a while because there's a lot of actors in this, 3,000 actors. And I also need to set up my lighting. I haven't set up my lighting yet. So I can see the way they have set up the lighting, just to see what they've done. I can create a folder for lighting so that I can access it easily. I'll keep my exponential height fog inside my lighting, my light source. I can do move to lighting. What else? I will move them to a different folder called point lights, and this is like my environment lighting, skylight and sky sphere post process, all to my environment lighting. Is there a directional light? There is a volumetric light mass importance volume. I will move it to my lighting. Is there a sky? There's a static mesh for sky. Oh, they have taken a material. I'll put it in environment lighting for now. And are there clouds? What else can there be? Like a different kind of fog? No. So this is all I think. If I disable all of it, there are no lights. What is this plane? I don't know. So anyway, we found our lights. And we also found our MJ. So in our lights we can manage like our post processing and stuff. For now I don't know what this project is using. Is it using motion blur? If it No, it's not. Auto exposure. It is using auto exposure. For now, I'll turn it off, and I'll manage my auto exposure through my post process. Okay, there is a post process applied here already, which is fine. I think 0.5 to 0.6 auto exposure applied. Sky sphere में कुछ changes. We can refresh the material. We have added the light source, I think. So how bright our level has to be, you can see. And if it is too close still to our player, we can move the camera, change the spring arm length to 800. So at least like we able to see what's around our player. Okay. So what's the next step? We have a camera setup, we have a level setup, post process almost setup. We can check if we are using lumen or something. So for now, what's our FPS like? So I am targeting 60 frames. I'm targeting 50 to 60, and currently we are sitting on 1817 ms, which is not so good. I want to be on 16 ms, so that actually if you are targeting a 60 frames game, by the way, so you should target a frame time of lesser than 16, so at least you have a bit of overhead. If you are targeting like 0.0166 60 frames per second, so that you at least have a bit of overhead. So target for like 0.13, 0.14, so you can get to 0.16 when the game actually like ships and everything. For now this is fine, I think we're on 60 fps, but we can see all the different things that we are using. For example, in our post process volume, or just in our environment lighting. Oh my god. I think we need to folderize all of these things, because they have not folderized anything. I'll just like move to assets. I don't know. This is not my patch, so these are the reflection captures. I'll move them in the separate folder. Reflection captures, they have some group actors here. Where are these actors? Yeah, these are also like the houses and stuff, so I'll move them in the assets. Wait, yeah, move to assets. What? Okay, I can't move the group into the same folder as their ungrouped versions are in. That is weird. I'll just create another folder for the group actors. Group actors, we have wooden splines, we can select the wooden splines, we can move it to create a new folder to our fences. Okay, fences का अलग से like एक folder रखेंगे हम लोग. Landscape तो है, we have a top down cam, we have MJ, we have bridge spline also will move it to where do we move it? Bridge splines. Is fences a word, by the way? Fences. I don't know if fences. So anyway, we do have like 30 FPS for now, but that will change once we actually play the game. So we are on 60, almost 60. We are like on 55. So let's look at our post process. And what are we doing here? A lot of things, I think. Exposure hai, we have local exposure, we have depth of field. We're changing the film a bit. Applying shoulder to a film. I'll keep it on 1 like they have. I won't change it.
ठीक है, सिर्फ एक ध्यान रखना जब आप निकलोगे ना कैमरा कहीं लगभग में बाकी चीज़ सागर आ जाएगा.
Okay. So I'll keep it on lumen. If I don't use any global illumination method, we get a boost of 20 FPS, I'd say. We get a boost. Okay, I can use screen space or standalone. Let me check how much was it on lumen. Like 50 something. I think we can use lumen. Let's just use lumen for now. And if we want, we can reduce the lumen quality a bit. So lumen ka there is this scene lighting quality which is set to 1. I can do 0.5. And we don't really see that much of an increase, but there is scene detail 0.25. I can decrease the final gather quality and let's see. I don't see any increase in my FPS. So one thing first I'll check is what is my max FPS here. Okay. I'll set max FPS to 0 and then I'll check. So yeah, most of the overhead is from our GPU. I think it's fine. Max trade resistance, and if I increase the gather quality, you can see our GPU frame time goes to 19 ms. If I decrease it to 1, it goes back to like 16. But our frame time is still 18 something. It's not really 16. So that's fine. We can build and see that what the thing is. But for now, I will just create a simple AI for this so that we can actually see how our enemies will look inside this game. and if I want I can decrease the light source a bit. Five. This is not so bright, but I think it will work. So now to add enemies. For enemies I have how many GBs of space does Unreal take in your hard disk? In mine it takes around 50 to 60, I think. Let me just check. It depends how many modules you're choosing, and that when you install it installs basically the Android part, the iOS files and the Linux files, which are basically useless if you're not developing for iOS or Android or Linux. So that's like at least 20 GB worth of files, which is just wasted. So this is mine, around 42 gigs. It can vary though, depending on how many things that you have installed with Unreal inside, like as plugins and stuff. So इसके अंदर I'll create my, what was I doing? Enemies. I have this pack. These are very cute enemies. They have their bones on. You might think it's a very cute enemy, but when it hits, oh, sorry, this one. It's very funny the way it hits. I like this one. Bro gave up. So we'll create a blend spaces for these, and I'll create inside my blueprints, I'll create a character. I'll call it my AI. Okay, I can call it my enemy, I can call it my AI. For now I'll just call it my AI. And AI will have basically my base stuff, and I'll create some other like AIs which will be basically overriding these functions. So I'll have my health classes, my meshes, my basic damaging stuff and getting hit stuff, all of that in this base class. And then I'll create some child classes which will actually be the ones that I spawn. So any functionality that I want to have common within the whole thing, within the whole enemy class, I'll add in this. So for example, I have the mesh here. So now I'll create a child blueprint class, call it AI. Wait, what is he called? What is this guy called? Goblin. No, not Goblin. Is he? He's a Goblin. So we'll name him AI Goblin. Must. Okay, Goblin को हम लोग देंगे this mesh Goblin. Before giving it a location and rotation, we need to make sure that the capsule component is also the same for all of them. You can change the capsule half height and stuff, but by default it will have the half height of 88 and 34 for all of them. So the pivot is basically the capsule component. This is the pivot of our AI, like this. So if I reduce the half height only for my Goblin, it will not affect all my other AIs that I will create. So for this one, I'll set the half height to like 60 or something. If I want to increase, I'll do it later in my child classes. So here I will give it a location of minus 60. Yeah, minus 60 and minus 90. Okay, and for now I'll give it the animation asset of idle, and let's see how bro looks. He's scratching his chin, his beardless chin. Yeah, it looks good, I think. Anna? So this is basically our enemy. We'll create 4 kind of enemies. I think for now I have 4 kind of enemies. We'll see if they, like, enemies don't really have to be different as long as they have different skins. Even usme there is variety of enemies, but the basic difference between enemies will be how challenging they are to beat. If all of them have literally the same challenge, you just need to shoot them. It's no difference. It's just different skins, different damage numbers and stuff. So for this one, I will start creating like this AI goblin. I'll just open AI and AI goblin. Now goblin guy, what does goblin guy do? He has to move towards the player. He needs to attack our player. Okay. So first I think I will create an animation blueprint for this guy, for this goblin. For now I'll create my animations here, and I will add a folder called my MJ. I keep calling it my MJ, it's just MJ. And I will create different folders for different, basically, characters or different skeletal meshes. So here's MJ, we'll just fix up any redirectors, and inside goblin I will add my animation blueprint to my enemy goblin. ABC goblin movement. So this guy will create a 1D blend space. He doesn't need to go left, right or anywhere, nor does he need to go back. He'll always face the player, and he'll always only move forward, or he'll stop, or maybe he'll attack. So in terms of movement, he only has one movement, which is going forward or you're stopping. So for that you only need a one-dimensional blend space. So BS move goblin movement. Now in goblin movement I have idle. I can name this one as my speed. It goes from 0 to 200. It will snap to grid, and now it will go from idle to run. Idling and running. Okay. So this guy is kind of running and kind of like scratching his chin. He's like confused, do I run, do I scratch? तो इसमें हम लोग एनिमेशन ब्लेंड स्पेस यूज़ करेंगे and promote it bus to speed, and inside our event graph we will use our get velocity, and we will get the xy velocity xy, sorry, length xy, and we'll promote it to our speed. ठीक है? And inside our goblin class we will tell it to use our goblin movement class. So now he's playing idle. If I tell him to move, he'll start playing his animation. Now to tell it to move, I need to create a nav mesh so that we will tell it to follow our player using the nav mesh, and it will try to see which objects it can go through, which objects it cannot, and stuff. So I will add a volume. Where is nav mesh bounce volume? Okay. This is the nav mesh. Now inside our AI class, not our goblin class, inside my AI class I will tell it to move. So I'll do AI move to, or I can do simple move to, or I can do move to all these things. AI move to location or actor or something like that. For now, let's tell it to move to me on every frame. So you need to give it the pawn object reference, which is yourself. And you need to give it a target actor. Target actor is your main player. If my bro is valid, if MJ dies, where will they go? Nowhere. You give it an acceptance radius of 100, and inside this character, very important step is to set your controller class to spawn collision handling method. Not spawn collision handling method, it was a controller. किधर गया? There was an option to for the controller to possess it whenever it is spawned in the world. And this one, place in the world or spawn, auto possess AI. Oh my god. But you can see the animation changing. The only problem is that bro is too fast. So by default, what is the speed? 600. We will make it 300 by default, and for this goblin we can override it also just to check. It is on 300, we'll just set it to 200. Goblin will walk slower than the other enemies, I think. And see, bro is walking. Okay. So what I can do is I can try to give it some damage or something. Now I will not use its mesh is collision. Mesh का collision by default I will just turn it off. And in the goblin I can increase the capsule radius for my potato aim gamers who can't aim, so that at least now they'll be able to hit this guy. And here the collision presets, it is set to pawn by default. I will set it to enemy. I'll create a collision preset. We have vehicle, we have UI, not the preset, sorry. The object types. In the object types, I'll search for collision. It was the profile name. Object channel, stage channels. Okay, I have to search for object. Enemy by default, set everything to ignore our enemy. Actually, no. If I set by default response to ignore, then our landscape will also ignore our enemy, and our enemy will fall through our landscape. So I have to tell it everything to block my enemy. Okay, and now tell our AI that, excuse me Mr. AI, we are using enemy, and the mesh is using nothing for now. Now in our goblin we can just check, okay, if it is set to this thing, we will tell it to ignore our camera, very important. We'll actually do it here. Enemy should ignore the camera. What else should it ignore? My neck's like gone like this for 2 hours. So bold static it should block, dynamic it should block, my pawn it will block. Okay, for now let's make sure it blocks everything. And we have to shoot our enemy. तो उसके लिए इसका जो collider है, we have to make sure that this bullet, every time it hits an enemy, it should damage it. But let's see, is our bullet actually even hitting anything? So our bullet doesn't have a collider yet, so let's make a sphere collision. Give it a radius of 10. It's fine. And set it to overlap all. Let's create another object channel, bullet, ignore, and in a bullet we'll set it to, sir, let me set it to bullet, ignore everything, only overlap for now with my pawn. Don't overlap with my pawn, only overlap with my enemy. Okay, and this is my collider, this is my mesh, and you will check if your collider actually hits something. You cast and check, is this guy my enemy? Oh, sorry, my AI. It is my AI. Let us apply some damage to this guy. And actually, let's apply some point damage to this guy, not damage. because we might be using radial damage in this game. I don't know yet. Maybe we will. So if we will use radial damage, we should use point and radial differently. But if you're just making sure it damages it, so you can just use apply damage. Okay. Goblin guy. Base damage इसको दे दो like 50 का. Which direction did it hit from? I don't think all of this is required. All you need is the base damage and we will be fine. What is required? Hit from direction is required. Direction will just be the other actor location. This actor location we have to calculate basically a direction, but it needs a vector. It doesn't need like a simple direction. It needs an x, y and z. Like if I just do direction, this calculates like a single value. I remember there was this another way to calculate like a forward vector of any actor that you, basically the vector of the direction that you hit a particular thing from, or I can just take for now the actor location. Not like it really matters. You need a hit info. Let's just use apply damage for now, because I'm not giving it any hit info. Just simply apply 50 damage to my enemy. Simple. Inside my AI, I will do any damage. On any damage, I will check how much the damage is and I will not destroy. I can go to a dead state or I can play a montage. Let's see, I can't really decide right now. There are a lot of ways that we can do this. Inside our anim graph, let's create a state machine and here I can't do it. So this is my movement and let me just add another death state. Let me see how it's kaisa like it's looking via state machines. So inside death I'll add my brother. Okay, he doesn't have a death, he only has a lose. Bro doesn't die, he only loses. So lose ho gaya. Now whenever we hit it, we want it to lose. So we just basically just turn a variable on dead. There's a variable called dead. We turn it on and we just check. Now we can check at every frame, we can check it on a particular event. For now I'll just check it every frame because we are technically casting to an AI. Okay. Now this is not the most optimized way to do it, but I will not go for premature optimizations and waste my time right now. Deva. Dead bro, not Deva. So here if we if our deva is true, which sounds wrong, if our dead is true, it will go to death. And can he ever go back to idle? Bro is not Goku. If he dies, he dies. Okay. So I'll just set dead to true. If dead is true, he'll just go in. That's it. Then here you'll apply some damage. Here when you take some damage, for now I'll just set dead to true. Nothing really complicated. And let's see, is it even damaging it? I don't think so, because we've told everything to ignore our bullet, right? Yes, we are overlapping with our enemy, but we need to tell our enemy that, my brother in Christ, we need to overlap with our bullet. Okay. And he is dead. He's moving, but he's dead. Yeah, he is dead, trust me. You can see he's dead. Like this will make for a good Halloween game. Bro is dead and he's still following us. So how do we prevent that? We just disable movement, or we just disable the AI component, whatever you want. Or I can just check here. Better to just reduce my ticks. Key as soon as my dead is true. Do this. Okay. Or let me just see, there is like disable movement, character movement. I can do this. I can shift delete. Wait, why did shift delete not work? Oh, because it's a branch. Now he doesn't move, but he still rotates. Very spooky goblin. So I can just remove the AI controller class. Game over. Goblin playing dead prank, very true. ये goblin थोड़ा sus है ये. I can do my AI controller. I can do unpossess, self, and let's see अगर if it works. Yes. Now he's actually dead. ना वो rotate होगा, ना वो follow करेगा. He is dead. We can't go through him, but he is dead. So the error is get AI controller unpossess. What's the error? Okay, we only basically do this once. We only need to do this once. Whenever we die, of course, हम लोग का every time we are hitting the enemy, its death should not run again and again. So it should only die. Goblin is not dead, he's just lazy to run. Very true. It's a fun concept to make an enemy जो सिर्फ ऐसे लेटा है and he is following you because he's too lazy to walk. He's just like he will slide. So now if I shoot him after he's dead, I should not get any errors because we are only doing this once. Okay, there are other ways to minimize that, but for now उतना ठीक है. And also I can just make it visible, this, oh sorry, hidden in game. I have to turn it off so that I can see when I'm overlapping. So you can see keep goblin died here, but उसका capsule अभी भी इधर है. So what I need to tell it is, after you are dead, sir, you need to let me through. You can't block anything. You can't block your player at least. So after it has died, inside the capsule component, set collision response. So set collision to response so that it does not block the pawn anymore. It will ignore my pawn. So now my pawn can go through. I can stand on it and everything. And एक दो बार ये चेक करना चाहिए so that you know कि nothing is blocking. Nothing should be blocking right now, because my mesh is set to no collision and my capsule is set to ignore my pawn, so nothing should really be blocking. एक ऑप्शन हो सकता है कि if it is blocking my pawn and my gun still has a collider and it is blocking my gun, so it will not let me through. तो वो सब चीज़ें, that's why you should check, but it's correct. And what I can do is, after some time, like after giving it a delay, or I can just set a lifespan of 2 seconds. So bro will die and be destroyed after 2 seconds. Okay, I can give it for now value of 5. I can also give it a simple health and stuff. And what I'll do is, I'll just take a break of 5 minutes, since I've been speaking for
15 minutes.
yeah, 5 to 10, 15 minutes basically, since I've been speaking for so long. And jab tak I will also do build all levels, because I think this will take some time, or I'll just do build lighting only. Okay, and so you can see the build, and you can also wait for 10 to 15 minutes till I'm back. Okay, hello, hello. We're back. So, I think build properly ho gaya, and still like it is on, you can see 50 something FPS, so I think we'll be good once we build the game. But now, let's add like chota size ko health bar or something, so that at least we know ki we can hit it twice or thrice or something. Maybe I won't keep the health bar, I don't know. I'm just thinking ki a health bar would look good. This is my AI HP bar. So for now, let's just add a progress bar, nothing else. We can, do we need to scale this? I don't know. I will keep it green. By default, I will keep it %1 HP bar. By default, it is set to 1. In AI only, let me add a widget. Okay. In this widget, I will add my widget class AI HP bar. Okay, and I can see it like this. I can keep it on screen or on world. If I keep it on screen, how is it looking? It's looking like this. So draw size should be 100 by 10. Yeah, kind of like this. But let me see where I have to put it. Yeah, this is fine. Like this looks okay, I think. It's not so bad, not so good. And we will update this value. So every time we take damage, first of all we need to have a health to take damage, which is, we'll keep it, okay, we'll keep it 100. Every time we take damage, we will just do health minus damage and set health, and we will clamp this float to from 0 to 100. Okay, after I've done this, this is basically my death. So I have to check when do I die, when my health is lower than 1. I can do equal to, but equal to won't work. I can do less than equal, less or equal to 0. If it does, then I will, suppose, collapse these nodes to death. Okay. When I unname this, I can't keep it empty now. I have to keep it exec. And I have to give it an output. So if health is less than 0, you die. Now every time I take damage, get this class, I will do get widget, and I will store this, actually begin later, to my HP bar, and every time I take damage I tell HP bar get HP bar I will need to cast it. Yeah, it gives me a widget object reference, so I need to cast it to HP bar for now. Like this, and this guy will be HP bar object reference. Yes bro, and इसको यूज़ करके we can do, उसके अंदर एक और HP bar है, so I should just name this HP bar widget or something, HP widget, and you can do set %. Now how much % do we set? It is basically this health map range clamp from 0 to 100 to 0 to 1. Okay, and हेल्थ को अभी डैमेज लगेगा कितना 50 का, so yeah 50 damage and it died. So now I can manage this damage, I can give it 10 damage. So that's only 10, so I can make it 25, so I have to hit every enemy or every goblin 4 times. Okay, and after it dies मैं मेरा widget जो component है उसको hide कर सकता हूँ. It did not hide. Oh, new hidden, yes, hidden. Or I can do set visibility. ये भी चलेगा. Invisible. Dead. And capsule, I will hide it. So he died. यहाँ पर I can place a lot of goblins around me. They will all follow, and that's it. Now all they do is follow and die. अब मेरे बाजू में खड़े होके क्या करते हैं वो लोग? They just scratch their chin. वो लोग का अटैक ऐसा है. This is how they attack. So we have to give them an attack animation. So attack animation हम लोग क्रिएट कर सकते हैं inside a state machine. Here I can create another state called attack, or better yet I can use a animation montage. Okay, for that first I'll need to create an animation montage here in this goblin am for animation montage attack. And we can add this attack, and it has two attacks, attack 1, attack 2, like left smash, right smash. Bro thinks he's Hulk. Okay, अब यहाँ पर whenever our AI reaches the player, it should start attacking. This is our take damage. I'll keep it like separate here. This is my tick. No need to really give it an introduction. I can just give it my favorite color. Not my favorite color, but my favorite color for the tick event. And for begin play I usually just color them green. This is what I follow, so that I know every time I see green I know, okay, this is begin play, this is tick, and these are some other functions which is like take damage or do whatever. Okay, now whenever it reaches the player, basically on success it needs to attack. So you can create a custom event attack, and on success we will do attack. Now how will this guy attack? It will play a montage, anim montage. Okay, anim montage is AM attack, and uska play rate is something like 1 or something. So when we play this montage, let me just use a different one, this one. You give it your mesh and montage to play, but it gives you more options, like if it got completed or on notify begin or end or something like that. So we will, let's do this and let's see what happens. Now the thing is that this is happening every frame. Every frame we are telling it to move on. Every time it is successful and it is just standing next to us, every frame we are telling it to play this montage. So let's see, कोई भी play नहीं कर रहा, कोई भी अटैक नहीं कर रहा, सब अपना इधर ऐसा स्क्रैच कर रहे. तो द रीज़न इज़ कि यहाँ पर inside the state machine I need to tell it to use the slot which I am using inside my montage. Where is my montage? I think I closed it, but this is a montage. Montage has this slot, default slot, default group slot or default slot. So I have to use default slot here. Now they can actually play the montage. Okay, still they are not playing. Okay, they are playing. But that's it, वो फिर से play नहीं करता. So I need to tell it कि as soon as you have completed your montage, you need to play it again. So when you completed this, you need to do this thing again. But first you need to check if you are actually near me. If you are like standing still, तो ही करना है, बार बार नहीं करना है. So I can turn attack on, and on completed, I can tell it to check if this thing is still true. So I have to create a boolean here on success, because if this is happening, we are basically moving. Let's print and check moving. Moving. Point 2 seconds and I'll give it a key. Actually there are 5 goblins doing the same thing. I'll have to reduce the count of goblins, unfortunately. There can only be one. So he always prints moving constantly, regardless of what happens. How do we know if he is only standing here and now that he is moving, we don't want to do, or we don't want to play our montage? So how do we get that? We can get it from our speed, if we are still like standing still or no. Or we can get it from this radius. We can promote it to a variable. Melee or attack range. So it only attacks when it is within this range. So when we are telling it to attack and on completed, we need to tell it to attack again. Let's see how many times this is happening. Attack. For like 0.5 seconds with a attack key. Constantly attacking. So if it is telling it to do this constantly, why is this not happening again and again? So I can check my montage, I can tell it to loop. No, it is telling it to attack, but it doesn't do this. Like this is happening, but it is not playing my montage. Let me do play anim montage. Let us just try and see. Like he only attacks when he moves again. So ये different kind of enemy है actually. He doesn't like attacking when we are standing still. He can't detect us. When we move, he gets angry. So it could be that this is happening again and again. That is why he's not doing it. That's actually the reason. Because it is getting the same instruction again and again. So I need to tell it to not do this until it is completed again. Okay, so basically I will do once until this is completed, then we can reset it. Let's see. Okay. So he's attacking. As soon as we move, he stops. Come here, he attacks again. Okay, one do once is all it takes, as Dua Lipa would say. इसको we will do attack. Where is bubble? Bubble. Okay, now it actually needs to give us damage. So how do we check that? यहाँ पर inside Goblin we can create a capsule component which can check if it is overlapping with the character, then it will damage it while it is playing the montage, obviously. So inside this montage, let me see if I can create a notify. Like this is when he attacks. So when he's like yo. I will add a notifier. I'll add attack, and then here also again. Attack, 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 and let's see if this notify is actually being called. Print notify name. No, nothing is really being called. I probably need to use it here. I need to create another anim notify and I have to do it here. This is my anim notify. But I should be able to get it in the montage. Play, okay, I need to do play montage notify. I thought they changed it. So I need to do this one. Now if I do just like, if I just print attack montage, attack montage, attack montage. Okay, so on those particular frames I need to check if my guy is hitting us. So how do we check? We just create a collider here and it can detect who we are hitting. So inside AI we can do it, or we'll just do it for now inside this. Box collision I can take. Any details about the tournament, you can contact the staff and they'll let you know on the, if you're asking about the Gamicon tournament. Then if whenever we hit, if we are overlapping with our character, if this box is overlapping with our main pawn, so this is like our attack detection. So you can do it attack detection, and this will only overlap. We'll keep it world dynamic, doesn't matter. We'll only overlap with our pawn. Okay, and we will check every time we do actually hit, which is here. We need to give some damage, but first we need to check if we are overlapping. So we need to create a custom event or a function which will check for hit. Check if hit player, basically. And we will call this on notify begin. We will do check if hit our player. Now inside here we can do check if hit player, and we can then check key this attack detection, did it overlap, is overlap, wait, is overlapping actor our main player. So that means of course it did hit, and then we can do apply damage. यहाँ पर we will actually need to make this a function, and inside this function we need to have an output as hit, that we actually did hit. So check if we hit the player, and if we did hit the player, then we will apply damage. To who? Of course the player. And this we will promote it to a variable called damage, so that every enemy can damage us differently with different values. By default we'll give it a value of 20. And you check if hit player. So here instead of this we will override a function check if hit, and don't call the parents, we will just check like this. If it is true, then this. If it is odd, you can just do like this. If we did hit, then we will apply this much damage to our player, 20. And inside goblin, okay, yeah. Inside our goblin, we just set the damage amount. By default it is set to 20, so nothing really matters here. Wait, it opened on the other screen. What was I was doing DPMJ, and here MJ can also take damage. I know, it is crazy. I did not mean to do this. Technically MJ is invincible, she should not die. But let's just say she can take some damage. So we'll just update her health. Set it to 100. We will create a very basic UI HUD. Very quickly I'll just add a progress bar here. I'll give it a size of 500. %1. Every time we take damage, basically we'll update that. So inside our game mode, on begin play, we will create our HUD, add it to viewport, and we will also promote this to our reference of our HUD, and we will create a custom event called update health, where we will take some health and we will set it to our HP bar का %. And that will always be in terms of map range clamped 0 to 100 and 0 to 1. So every time our player takes damage, where is our player? Here is MJ. MJ will call our game mode. So where is our game mode? We need to take a reference to our game mode. So this is what our game mode is called, I think. No, wait. Okay, this is all just a different blueprint. This is my game mode. We'll create this here. This is fine, and now we will do GM top down and promote. This is our game mode, and every time we take damage, we will of course clamp it, very important, between 0 to 100, and game mode के अंदर से we will do update health with this. So we are taking damage. Now if we are further away and he plays the animation, so we will not take damage. मतलब when he plays the animation and if we are here, so we will not take damage. We have to be close enough. Okay, now obviously 0 से कम नहीं जाएगा value, so we won't be able to see. But you can see, if I move when he attacks, I will not take hit. So that is all because of this. So I think that's it for today. That is where we learned it, and we have gone on for 3 hours, so that's enough for one session, and we'll continue it next time. So our goal will be obviously to take this game further. We'll try to add more kind of enemies, try to create a wave system, and maybe add more weapons or something and some different kind of logic which will just basically improve our gameplay. So if you have any recommendations or something for the gameplay or for anything, let me know. Or if you have any kind of queries related to what happened today or what kind of sessions we will hold in the future, so you can just feel free to ask. We'll let you know जो भी हम लोग के plans है. And yeah, that's it. So cool. See you later.